Dr. Peter McCullough is a world-renowned cardiologist and chief scientific officer at the Wellness Company, but he's also the first doctor to develop an over-the-counter spike protein detox program. I don't think there is a doctor alive today who's been criticized more by the same people who told Americans to get the vaccines. Dr. McCullough, good to have you back.
Thank you.
94% of Americans got either Pfizer or Moderna vaccines, which contain this full-length spike protein from the messenger
94%,
RNA.
Mom.
Tell us what it is and what it's doing to the
94%.
human body now, almost 6 years later.
Listen to this.
But we have evidence that both the messenger RNA in a patient of mine, Rob, who took Pfizer, and the spike protein are in the bloodstream 3.5 years after the last shot.
That's a disgrace.
So the spike protein gets into all the organs. It causes a whole array of syndromes. What we learned from the Senate report today from the Permanent Subcommittee for Investigations is that a FDA senior scientist, Dr. Anna Scharfman, brought this information forward in March, April, and May of 2021 to senior FDA officials, including Dr. Peter Marks, and she was told to stop, to cease and desist any
And they
more
wanted to keep giving people boosters.
analytics and what was happening. There was thousands
It was off
of cases
the market.
of myocarditis and blood clots. What we've learned is that the body can get rid of the spike protein, but it needs some assistance from nature.
Okay, I want to get to that quickly. You're a renowned cardiologist. What type of damage does the
They
spike
poisoned us
protein
with
do
that
to the
vaccine.
heart?
You know, in severe cases, it caused the cardiac arrest that we saw in the athletes early in 2021.
Like Damar Hamlin?
By August
Like
of
all those
2021, Verma and colleagues
Track
reported
stars.
in the New England Journal of Medicine a patient, a 42-year-old man who took Moderna, and he died in Washington University Medical Center in St. Louis. He died 2 weeks after of
Wow.
fatal myocarditis. We're talking
my
about devastating inflammation in the heart. What we're seeing now, years after the vaccine, is patients who are just kind of nagged with chest pain, minor symptoms, and we find
And
this,
arrhythmias
the
and
antibody
things
to the
like me,
spike
I
protein
have.
is elevated. And fortunately, if we can get the spike protein out of the body, then patients can be relieved of this risk.
Okay, can people test their spike protein levels? Is there a test for this?
We measure it indirectly with an antibody. The lead test is from LabCorp. You can order it yourself online on LabCorp On Demand COVID antibody test. And we're in research right now directly measuring the spike protein itself in the bloodstream.
Okay, and that test is about $69. We looked at that today. Anybody can do that, and that will give you your level. And what are you looking for when you get the results?
We're looking for
Test for
good
that
news. If
protein.
it's less than 1,000, every study shows there's probably no spike protein left in the body. It's just residual antibody. If it's progressively higher than 1,000, and the LabCorp assay ranges up to 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, that's where we see trouble. The average person with a vaccine problem has spike antibody levels at about 11,000.
Way too
Wow,
high.
and the more vaccines and boosters you got, generally speaking, the spike protein level can be higher. So you're going to get a number, and you want it to be below 1,000. How do people get this out of their system? Again, we're almost 6 years removed. What can people do right now? I know you've talked about nanokindine, bromelain, and curcumin. Tell us what
Right.
they do.
See, those
Those are the
elements
principal
used
ones.
to
If
get them
you
out.
go to Amazon, you type in Spike Detox, you'll find a whole array of products. Wellness Company makes the lead product called the Ultimate Spike Detox. This is medicinal grade.
They're gonna
high
use this
dose
as a market to sell this
nattokinase,
stuff, Bob.
bromelain, and
The
curcumin.
detoxes.
Must be taken on an empty stomach. Typically takes a year, but we reliably see these measures of the spike protein go down, symptoms clear up, and if the patients don't get COVID again, you know, they can be free and clear. We advise patients, since COVID still is around, to probably stay on a maintenance dose of the spike detox. These are healthy, natural supplements that are generally good for you. So
Okay, just quickly, my doctor refused to give me a COVID antibody test, and I had to go to LabCorp
Can you believe
and
these
get one.
corrupt,
Why is that?
crooked doctors?
I think the doctors do not want to have patients move towards a conclusion that the vaccine has harmed their bodies, because the doctors advised these vaccines. They took them themselves, their families
And they
took
got
them,
kickbacks and
their
made money off
patients took the vaccine. So I think self-participation here by the doctors is really causing a lot of reticence.
Dr. McCullough, we appreciate you being here tonight. Again, I think it's fascinating that now in this new world we live in, it is independent media that is willing to talk about this, and the mainstream legacy media just cover this up and avoid this story. And people are suffering, and nobody knows that better than you. Peter McCullough, we appreciate it. Thank you.
What do you think about that, Mom?
Wow. Yes.
This is awful. The vaccine, you see the poison and the things that went into the body. should be ashamed of
Yes.
themselves. This puts a black stain on the whole medical community, doesn't it? I mean,
Yes.
and then they're going to say, "Oh, well, the vaccine helped save lives." How about these people that took the vaccine and had a very small risk of getting COVID or spreading it to other people? And yet, the vaccine, was it really worth the risk now? And now, look what the reward is with all the heart problems and all the different
Yes.
organs that were poisoned. There you go. This is why nobody trusts them. And then healthcare increased 3 times. Now it costs 3 times as much to get healthcare, even after the healthcare community failed us all. So sad. This is the world we live in today.